we've got our back to our phone sleeve and the front to our phone sleeve. The first thing we've got to do is mark these snaps and get the snaps done. These are the only little hardware things I have left. And so let's do that first. We're going to need the pattern pieces. We need the lining of the back and the outer of the front. And now we need our pattern pieces. So what I want to do here is I'm going to lay the pattern pieces on top. Okay, and then I'm going to grab a writing utensil. This will not be seen, so you can use any kind of writing utensil. And you just want to, right in the middle, you have the snap closure placement. You're just going to mark it right in the middle there. Okay, there it is. Perfect. Same with this one. Now, if you can't see it because your fabric is too dark, then you'll have to use something else. But I can see it just fine. All right, so I've got my marks there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the washers, and there's a center hole right here. I'm going to put that over the dot, the mark that I made, that center hole. And then I'm going to mark on either opening, either side of this, or little lines. Okay, so I should have 2 lines with a circle in the middle, a dot in the middle. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to grab my seam ripper. You can use scissors if you like. You can use a razor knife. I'll do them both ways. I've got this type of seam ripper, and I have this type of seam ripper, and we're going to make holes. So I'm going to make a little hole here. Being very careful, so I'm going down just a little bit and coming up, and bam, I got a little hole. We're going to do that on the other side. Okay, I've got 2 little holes there. With this one, I'm going to take the pointy end, and I'm going to just push it through the vinyl in just a little sawing motion. Okay. So those are 2 ways you could do it. Safer, I think, than using scissors. But the seam ripper way is the way I always do it, but it is scary every single time. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to we need a washer for each, and we need a snap for each. The female side, which is this side here, should be on the outer phone sleeve front, which is this right here. So I'm going to put these 2 prongs through the 2 holes that I made. Okay, and just push them through. Hopefully they went through. If they didn't go through all the way, just going to beat it. There we go. Try this again. Here we go. This is why I like the seam ripper way. Okay, so this is what we've got. We've got it going through there. Then we're going to put this right here. Okay, and we're going to bend them out. You can also bend them in. It's up to you how you want to do it. So I generally will take a pair of scissors, whoops, and I will push it with a pair of scissors. Okay. Now, one of the things I forgot to do was to add some scraps of interfacing here, but I can do that now. You just need a couple scraps. Okay. And I could put them over like this. 1, 2, and then grab my iron and just press those on there. That just gives you a little more stability. I forgot to do that earlier, where you put it down first and then you make your holes. Follow the instructions in the tutorial. I can't follow my own. But anyway, this should be fine. Okay, it's not going to get a lot of wear and tear because it's really just a little pocket. Okay, so there's that side. So we see our female side. Now we're going to take the male side and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put it through the holes that we made. We've got our little prongs there. Going to put our washer on it through the little, the prongs through the side. And then push it out. Okay, now we're going to grab our 2 pieces of interfacing and we're going to press them on. Next is elastic. We're going to grab our elastic pieces, okay, and we are going to mark the center of them. Okay, however you can do that, however you want to do that, you can mark the center. You can use a pin, which is what I will do. There's one. There's two. There's three. All right, there we go. Now we're going to measure 3/4 of an inch to either side. So grab a measuring device. I'm going to try my white pen. And so 3/4 of an inch from center. Okay. That makes the between markings 1.5 inches. So there's one. 3/4. Quarter. And one more. I don't know if you can see those markings, but they're there. Now I'm going to take my pattern piece and I'm going to use it to for placement for my elastic. So I'm going to mark here. Okay, and we'll do the other side as well. So here's one. It's two. The elastic will go between the markings. And three. All right, now we're going to head to our sewing machine. And I'm going to stitch down these lines, these lines, these lines, and making sure to backstitch. Here we go. All right, here we are. So what will happen with this is it'll kind of be like this, and it'll come around like that. Okay. All right. Okay. So here we are. We've got our outer and we've got our lining. We're going to place our lining right sides together just like this. And we're going to place our the lining right sides together, and now the outer right sides together. We don't need all these clips. We just need a couple. I'm going to head over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch these together. Using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, I'm going to go down this side, across this bottom, up this side. On the lining, it is almost exactly the same, except I'm going to go all the way down this side, all the way across the bottom, and then I'm only going to go up a little bit. I'm going to leave a space and the rest. So you want 2 to 3 inches on one side. Doesn't matter which side, but you want 2 to 3 inches open. So don't sew right here on the lining. Look. All right, now let's box the corners. So you're going to reach in. You just want to separate these at the base. And you're matching the bottom seam with the side seam just like this. So it looks almost like a triangle. Then you're going to take it under your sewing machine, under your needle. Make sure it's all flat there. And with the 1/2 inch seam allowance, you're going to stitch across there. Here's the lining, here's the outer. Now what we want to do is we turn the outer right side out. So we're just going to, it's a little bit harder when you, oh wait, we need to trim these. Let's trim our seam allowances on our box corners. And then we could turn our outer right side out. Okay, so here's the back. Here's the front. We are going to place this inside the lining. There we go. Okay, and we want to match up this, the front edge here. And you could see that this kind of curls up. Just give that a little clip so it lays flat. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to our sewing machine and using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, we're going to stitch around here to here and then up and around here. Okay, here we go. It wasn't perfect, but it'll be okay. I'm an advocate of not having to be perfect all the time. Okay, we'll trim our corners here, and then we will snip in. Uh-oh, I have to try not to go through your stitch. Okay, so now we've stitched, we've snipped. We want to snip here too, here as well. Okay, do not go through the seam allowance. You just want to snip it a tiny bit. Up to, but not through, okay? That way when we turn it inside out, it'll be clean. All right, so here's our opening. Maybe. There's our opening. Let's start pulling things right side out. Take something blunt and just kind of push everything out. You want those smooth, rounded corners. Just be careful if you're using scissors like me. Anything really, because you can poke through the vinyl and then you've got a big mess. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to push it in, the lining all the way in before we close that opening. Just want to make sure everything looks the way I want it to look. Okay. Okay, what I want to do now, this looks great. I'm going to test my phone. Perfect. Perfect. Very nice. So I'm going to top stitch. Now what I'm going to do, you can press it if you didn't use vinyl and you're not concerned about melting anything. I could press up here, but I can't press anywhere else. Okay. Now I'm going to go to my sewing machine and I'm going to top stitch around here and here. Okay. Just about 1/8 of an inch away. All right, here we are. Now this is a little more stiff. It would be more stiff than, say, a all fabric one would be, but it's pretty nice. And you could adjust the sizes as you need to for whatever it is. Now I did not take video of me sewing that, unfortunately. I started here and I came down here and I stopped once I got into that corner. I put my needle down and then I pivoted and pushed this down this way, so that I could then come around the other side. It wasn't as hard as it seems, but it is a small area, so it's kind of tedious, but that's okay. So then you have this. What we'll do is we'll take one of our straps, undo it, okay? And then you'll take your swivel hook through the elastic. It will be tight. You want it to be tight. Okay, so just get it through there, all 3 of them. Okay, see how it fits tightly? That's what I want. It'll be less likely to slide around. Perfect. You'll probably have to take it through this. I tried to do the elastic a little bit looser, and it just kept sliding everywhere. So this is tight is good. Okay. That was easy. Okay, and so it goes onto your strap like that. And yeah,